In today's Ukraine, the war is not confined to the front line. Since the start of the full-scale invasion by the Russian Federation, the country has lived under prolonged armed conflict. Border areas face regular shelling, while cities farther from the front adapt to life under air raid sirens, missile strikes, and drone attacks. Civilian casualties continue to rise, and the state operates under martial law and ongoing mobilization. Ukraine's constitution guarantees freedom of movement, protection from arbitrary detention, and equality before the law. Even in wartime, international human rights standards require that any limits on these freedoms be lawful, clearly regulated, and subject to oversight. In practice, mobilization has created a gray zone where legal norms, military necessity, and daily life intersect. On the streets of Ukrainian cities, scenes increasingly include patrols by Territorial Recruitment and Enlistment Centers, known by the Ukrainian abbreviation TCC, alongside police and other security agencies. Their stated task is to verify documents, serve draft summons to men of military age, and ensure that mobilization rules are observed. Much of this work takes place in public spaces, near transport, markets, workplaces, and residential districts. Videos posted by eyewitnesses and media show how these checks can escalate. Men of conscription age are stopped, questioned about their registration status, and, in some cases, taken to recruitment offices or vehicles on the spot. Human rights lawyers and civil society groups describe cases they consider to be unlawful detention or disproportionate use of force during such operations. At the same time, Ukrainian officials argue that many online clips are edited, taken out of context, or deliberately staged as part of information campaigns, and insist that mobilization must continue for the country's defense. The result is a paradoxical situation. Citizens are formally protected by constitutional guarantees, yet in everyday reality they may be reluctant to move freely around their own cities. Some men avoid crowded places, limit their use of transport, or rely on informal messaging networks that track the movements of patrols. Under the travel ban for most men of conscription age, leaving the country is restricted, while remaining inside it can mean frequent encounters with mobilization authorities. For many residents, the same state that is responsible for defending them from external attack is also the actor that can stop them on the street, check their documents, and decide whether they can go home or must report to a military office. The line between a routine identity check and an experience perceived as coercive can be thin and unpredictable. These dynamics, captured in documentary footage from phones and security cameras, form a fragmented but persistent record of how wartime mobilization, law enforcement, and civil freedoms now overlap on the streets of Ukraine's cities.
Встаньте с человека. Вот это наша полиция, которая защищать людей должна. Дайте ему встать, он будет с вами общаться нормально. Дайте встать ему.
Не надо так делать.
Успокойся, что он уже кричит, блин.
Что вы делаете?
Полицию!
Не, люди, не калечьте человека!
Да он уже! Документ! Где он? Мобилизованный. Пацаны, ну что вы делаете в натуре? Ну что вы делаете? Телефон дайте. Успокойтесь, отпустите. Он уже! Так решите вопрос нормально. Уже приказ! Да что вы делаете?
Покажите, покажите приказ! Покажите!
Тогда освободите его! Да что вы делаете?
Приказ конкретно.
Покажите приказ!
Покажи сначала, а не запихивай в вуз.
Вызовите полицию!
Опустите!
Полицию!
Отпустите вы меня, я не вру. Ну покажи.
Покажите приказ!
Не вопрос, да покажи. Покажи сейчас ориентировку на этого человека. Я же покажу.
Покажи сначала.
Он убежит.
Он не убежит, я